Begin. Mr. Chairman, sir, at the outset, I must express my appreciation for the general welcome accorded in this House to the address of the Governor. At the same time, I am happy to see that many constructive suggestions have been made by honorable members in the course of the discussion on the Governor's address. However, I would like to say that the address should not be considered to be a full list of what the government are going to do or what they have done or what they propose to do. It should not be expected to cover every point which is in the mind of the honorable members in this House or the government. It gives an opportunity to honorable members to cover all subjects relating to administration. It is open to honorable members to refer to what has not been dealt with in the address of the Governor. If it is understood in this way, honorable members will see that this address has been serving a useful purpose. It is a matter of pleasure that every honorable member referred to the great achievements of our Prime Minister in external affairs. The leader of the opposition rightly pointed out that the highest prestige that India enjoyed in the world today was entirely due to the personality of our Prime Minister. I would like to state that we shall take full advantage of this asset that we are proud to possess. As was expected, the leader of the opposition made a great contribution to the debate in the course of the discussion. I would like to say that I agree with him in regard to the sentiments expressed by him on the language question. The honorable member representing the teachers referred to the difficulties of poor students in the matter of poverty certificates. I would like to inform him on behalf of the Minister for Education that the difficulties have been looked into and will be further looked into. The other honorable member representing the teachers, as usual, pleaded only for the teachers. He said that the government were spending a large amount on many private, but that the teachers were not given anything more. I would like to point out to him that we are spending a large amount of money on these development projects only with a view to increasing the wealth of the country, with which we can liberally pay the teachers. Whatever may be the economic position of the teachers, we hope that we will be able to carry out the various schemes for increasing the standard of living of the people. If we have a program of industrial development, it is with a view to providing employment to all those who are employed not only in the urban areas but also in the rural areas. The honorable member from the Annamalai University said that his university would be willing to help the government in introducing the courses in mining in view of the lignite project in Neyveli. I may assure him that the government will look into the matter and see how they can take advantage of this offer. So far as land reforms are concerned, one honorable member asked whether we should take up land alone for reform when we had not taken up other sectors like industries. I would like to point out to him and to other honorable members of the House that land is a gift of nature for the benefit of the people. It is not made by anybody but is created by nature. We have ceiling fan. To the extent it is used, one has to pay for it. Stop.